Did you use this if I'm not mistaken? On Nasus?
I think the Nasus will probably have to back soon. He has no mana and he's gonna get Dove, I guess. Yep.
Oh, I got pulling the aggro, so it looks like you'll be able to just drop that one and continue for the tower plays. A little bit of late rotation from Deadly Virus, Flash and Barrier still available. Just gonna be watching out for that Garen. And my guess would be that Garen sort of power farming to that level 6 Demacia.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, to this fine Sunday morning where we have some good old high school esports league for VS Gaming. We have on the left side, we have Grantleigh High School, or better known as well as Boosted Beyond Bronze. And to the right side, we have Jeppe High School. And we saw Jeppe High School play some fairly interesting games yesterday with the Beefmaster, if you remember him. Gonna see he beefed up some good plays, but other than that, we're looking forward to seeing Grantleigh for the first time today. We did not get a chance to cast them yesterday, and I'm looking forward to this game. Grantleigh is one of the considered to one of the better teams in this tournament. Also, one of the favorites to win, along with Paul Roos. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're actually going to bring for the first time today.
Yeah, we may not have particularly casted both of these teams in the tournament so far, but we have during the season, so some familiar names amongst the players, such as McLean and Donovan, or Dover, Genotrol. So, some guys to potentially watch out for, but V8 Porky showing us yesterday that he's quite a decent like hook-based support or player rather. So I'd like to see what he can potentially do with that Thresh. Otherwise, the first ban phase done and dusted, as well as the pick phase jumping into the second with that ban. So the Vi Leona reacted, plus the Clad versus the Vladimir Yasuo and the Veigar.
Yeah, and it's interesting to note here, and I'm not going to give anything away because I have a little bit of inside information because someone that I like to talk to a lot is in one of these teams. But based on what bans are going to be, they might switch up their role. So if you know someone from one of the teams, they might not be going the same role that they used to. All depends on what we're going to get banned.
Controls them.
There's some hot swapping going on, but so far the Jax ban for the second rotation versus the Kayn. No,
right.
Is there no Peanut in this game? So why do we have a Kayn ban, dude? Who's is he a particular Kayn like player?
Yes, actually, Flying Pig is one of his favorite champions. He has 73 ranked games on it with 53% win
definitely
rate.
a main.
Yeah, gold 2.
Definitely a main.
Gold 2, definitely not a bad jungler there for himself. That being said, though, Echo has been left open, and that's also okay. Wait, actually, I already missed that, but Echo has already been picked, so that is a one of his comfort picks as well, since Kayn has been banned, which is pretty weird now that I think about it, because so they first picked it, right, which is a great flex. So they can still flex it to a different lane, but I'm pretty sure it's going to go over here to the Flying Pig, since it is one of his favorite picks. But yeah, I guess they can still put it in mid if they don't feel happy with the jungle matchup, but I definitely think it is going to go in that jungle position for Flying Pig.
I gotta say, I've been seeing a surprising amount of Volibear in the High School Esports League. I don't know, personally, I don't really see Volibear ever. It's not a bad pick per se, but definitely not meta, so I'm not sure where they're getting these volleys coming from. But we have another Rammus as well.
The last time I saw a Volibear in any competitive game was when Team Liquid trolled for their final game of the split, spring split. They went a full glacial comp, and they won really convincingly.
Is it really a troll then if it works?
Exactly. I mean, Impact, here's the funny thing. On ProView, everyone saw Impact reading the abilities of Volibear. He actually didn't know which ability fits onto what key. He didn't know the champion. He never plays it. So that's the funny part. He literally studied the ability notes before the game. So
yeah, that's a bit yikes, I'm not gonna lie, but so it looks like we have a gangplank mid lane with the barrier for the choice of summoner spots. That's pretty interesting. And Volibear top, Echo jungle, Nautilus, Jake spot lane versus the Thresh Tristana. So no Mordekaiser AD carry for this game, I believe. Potentially could be like lane Tristana, but highly doubt. Rams in the jungle. What do you think Rammus is gonna do into a comp like that?
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it feels like the Rammus gets like almost expect either way, because personally I like it more to keep the Rammus for, let's say, if you see them picking a AD jungle or a Master Yi, or it's a very high AD team. But it seems like a lot of teams here in the High School Esports League just pick it because it's a comfort pick and a fairly easy jungler to play. Other than that, I don't know. It feels like it's a decent champion either way, but it's not going to hard counter anyone specifically in that team other than maybe the Jinx in team fights.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, Echo quite nimble. We have the Gangplank with these oranges, the sneaky pirate himself, able to get out a couple tricky potential death situations, as well as a Volibear who doesn't really want to be taunted. I guess you taunt a Volibear, he's gonna flip you over his head anyway. So yeah, that's a bit of a no-go for the Rammus at least. So I don't know if I agree with Rammus being the most optimal jungle pick, especially seeing as I think it was last picked. So bit of an interesting draft coming through so far. Other than that, I feel like the comps aren't too bad. Both teams sort of offering a fair amount of tank, so that's a good start to the game. No sign of Teemo, which is I'm happy about for the start for the Sunday. We had a couple. I think it was one Teemo actually yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this is day 2. This is I think we're going into the more serious games today. So hopefully people don't see the Teemo is still considered serious when it comes to day 2, and that those picks are done and dusted, and we'll only see the good plays today. But other than that, it seems like that Fizz, though, I think it seems like it's also one of the things that the high school team leagues like as well. Because I mean, this is not the first Fizz we see. I can't remember correctly now, but was it? I think it was actually the same team yesterday who picked Fizz. If I remember correctly, I might be wrong though.
I think so. Yeah, pretty sure it was single track, trying to 1v5 if I'm not mistaken. But we've seen a couple of really spicy fizzes, so something to watch out for 100%. Into the mid lane matchup with Gangplank, in theory, should be able to win lane, even though it is melee versus melee. Gangplank over the last season or so has sort of been shifted more towards the mid game than the late game. He used to be a top laner or top champion that basically just wanted to try to get even and look for that late game 1v5 carry with the barrel combo, but now sort of shifting that damage more towards the early to mid game means that he's more of a viable pick, and I'd like to see whether he can hold out versus that Fizz.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think definitely the Echo is fine against the Fizz. Any champion like that needs these almost all in ultimates, like a Zed, like a Katarina. You know, like if you don't kill the person, you need those resets, or you need to pop them with the ultimate. It's not a super like a control mage. You can just spam out some abilities and try and poke them down and kill them, right? So that's not the end of the world if you miss some abilities, or if he ults away your damage, right? But if Zed all-ins you or Fizz all-ins you and they've used their kit and you ult the damage away with like an Echo can, then that's the kit gone. Then you can actually counter engage as the Echo, because that's all their basically all-in abilities that will kill you. That kill pressure is now gone. So I think Echo is really good into a pick like Fizz.
So we will be learning and able to see the skins of choices for the first game of the best of 3 guys VS Gaming High School Esports League. Myself, Sheepii, as well as Sinister on the cast this morning. And no, not that many skins actually. They've got Astro Nautilus, Sandstorm Echo versus Full Mental, Rammus, Dragon Trainer Tristana, Heine Thresh, and Infernal Mordekaiser. Have you seen the new skins?
I have. Very big fan of the Ash one actually.
So cool. I played with one yesterday, and the dance has a really cool jingle and dance to it.
I like apparently she rides a shadow horse whenever she's on home guard.
Yeah, the recoil is quite cool as well. Sort of brings the horse into the animation. But so far, everything looking pretty standard. Don't see anything that seems too bizarre with regards to the summoner spells and the keystones. Maybe just the mid lane barrier, but I guess it's kind of understandable as a mid plank versus the Fizz. Echo Jungle sort of becoming more and more meta now. It's popped back in. It is being played in Korea, so I kind of like the Echo pick in the jungle. To see whether he's very comfortable on it though. Flying Pig. On the blue side ping saying they just want to make sure to control the invade vision.
That's actually some great pinging coming through. We haven't seen a lot of teams so far in these high school team leagues ping out a lot of these early game plays and making sure that they communicate a lot. There's a lot of either disjointed invades, or like people don't really know where to stand and where to cover entrances. So I really like the fact that people are starting to ping out the map. Actually, read Jeppe as well. I can't remember that Jeppe did this yesterday, so maybe coaches started stepping out. I'm not sure, but it's a very defensive stack coming through here from Grantleigh High School so far. Making sure. I think yesterday one of the teams actually got caught out by, if I was remembering, Paul Russ actually got caught out like this. They did.
Yeah, there's a couple of occasions yesterday where there was some cheeky invades.
Yeah, because I think Porter's pretty much did the same invade route like 2 or 3 times in a row where they went through tri-brush bot side and then they just walk around, and obviously the enemy team started realizing that, stacked the brush, which you saw Grantleigh stacking and now, and got caught out. If I remember correctly, actually it was what's it, Peanut that got caught out? Yeah.
Yeah, first death plus the buff stole nowhere. Went immediately to the enemy topside jungle for that parallel clear. But just getting back to the game, so what is your in-game time? Just to make sure we are synced.
1 minute 37, 38, 39.
Half 40. A second behind you, but it should be fine.
Okay. Other than that, scoreboard and melee. Jungle timers would also be nice.
I've done it. Just the lane, I believe. Clean, very aggressive on the top side with his Volibear. The Mordekaiser. Would you rather have a Mordekaiser or a Volibear on your team for top?
I mean, for early game, I think the Volibear would be pretty good. But I mean, I've seen a lot of Mordekaiser struggle a lot in the early game. But overall, Mordekaiser I just think is much better. Once he starts, if he gets a little bit of jungle pressure and gets items going, it's a very hard thing to deal with.
I'm not entirely sure how that matchup works, to be honest. I don't really see that many Volibear versus Mordekaiser combinations. But let's see what happens top side. But so far, McLean striding a little bit at already just over half health versus the full health Mordekaiser. Grasp still intact though.
Some days I feel like I have a Mandela effect. The last person I've seen play mid, and a lot of people back in the Forbidden days, I could swear Don used to play the Gangplank mid, but whenever I ask him about it, he acts like I'm completely crazy. But I'm telling you now, back in Forbidden days when I was in Forbidden, he played that mid, and he doesn't believe, or he doesn't remember it, and somehow I do.
The heck is the Mandela effect?
Okay, that's complicated to go. It's basically when you believe that something happened, but it didn't really happen. There's a whole study about it.
Why is that the Mandela effect, though?
Because there's a bunch of people who believe that Mandela never went to prison or something like that. There's a whole video about it, honestly.
Okay, I've never heard of that before. But
just go and watch the video.
Maybe I will.
But the whole point about it and why they call it that is basically you believe or think something that's happened and it didn't really happen.
X the dot. So is it when you think something happened but it didn't, or is it when
you
don't think something happened?
Or a group of people, not necessarily just you. No, it actually be so multiple people actually believe that something happened or didn't, but obviously in this case it's only me. So maybe it's not the right thing to say.
Fair enough. McLean topside does get yoinked into the blink, and that's the passive kicking in. McLean now needs to be a little bit more careful. Both top players opting to go for the standard TP, so there's not going to be any cheese. Arguable to go Ignite into that matchup, but I feel like Mordekaiser still needing the TP more. Cheeky gang temp to the top side though. Lots of damage. Shield from Echo. The flash away does go down the 1v1 now. Beefmaster showing you guys why you cannot afford a gank a Mordekaiser. That might just be the double kill. The flash boink beautifully played. And that's going to be the first 2 kills of the day.
Beefmaster beefing out top 2v1, getting the double kill. What an absolute madman. That's going to be pretty big for them because like I mentioned before, normally the Mordekaiser is the champion that struggles a little bit sometimes in the early game. And somehow apparently he still manages to 2v1 both McLean and Flying Pig. And also, by the way, getting both the summoners. So that's pretty big. And our McLean also had to TP top, meanwhile mid lane.
Yeah, that was a bit of a yikes, I'm not gonna lie. It's one of the champs you need to watch out. Almost like a Renekton top. If you force a gank too hard, you're gonna end up choking it like that. So Mordekaiser's not starting on 2 kills plus 26 CS, means he's a big boy. He's gonna be the massive carry for the team most likely. Let's see whether Frosty Boy decides to play around him or just opts for that bot lane sit. Had some crazy Tristana gameplay yesterday, so...
So the interesting thing to note about this game also as well is that Grantleigh actually overall has a fairly high rankings of the players. So Modern Goblin, you can already see his rank pulling a little bit ahead here on the bot lane. He's actually plat 2. So his Jinx on 45 CS now to pop caps 23. So you can actually see that his CS really does match his rank. He's almost at that. He's really pretty
clean. You cannot run further than that, dude. You're in the Shadow Realm, looking to try and walk away from this one, but it's not looking too hard. Does manage to get up with the last bike. the sidestep, the fancy feet coming through actually. McLean. Oh, opts not to go for the flip of the run instead. The bike connects, but it won't be enough damage. Passive not kicking in.
What's your time, Sheepii?
6:15.
Okay, I'm on 6:20. I'm gonna pause.
Go.
Okay. Wait a second. I played and then suddenly it fast forwarded. Okay. I don't know what's going on with my client. I'm on 6:31 now.
3, 4,
Okay.
5. I'm a second ahead.
Okay, it's fine.
Wasn't played. Well, replay is a little scuffed this morning. Still
Yeah,
leaking.
I have no idea what's going on with it. LoL client, but cool.
Yeah. It's too early of a morning for League of Legends, let's be honest. At least for tech, that side. Sonic Grantleigh, very low. That's gonna be the double kill in favor of blue. That's gonna be the trade back actually. So nothing going without a little bit of return. So big investment, but unfortunately 2-for-1 trade, I guess.
Seems
Replay
like
system's probably not going to be working until later. I'll try to fix that. Giant orange square. That's fun.
seems like Echo is on the bot side here, but he will be spotted out by the scuttle actually being taken by Ramus. So that's interesting. It is interesting to note as well that bot side does have priority here, so he might be able to actually invade, but I don't know. They should know that he's there. You can actually see Ramus also rotating into the bot side, so maybe looking for the counter gank.
I've actually asked, what are your thoughts on this game with regards to which team is going to take the entire series? Do you have a favorite to cast this curse?
Well, technically, I think Grantleigh is supposed to be the favorite for this game. Looking at comps as well, you never really touched on that. I think all around there's some comfort picks as well for Grantleigh. So I mean, technically they have the tools to be able to take this game. At the moment, looking at it, it's still a fairly even game, not too much of a difference. The one thing that does seem like bringing him a big gold lead so far is bot lane. I mean, Jinx's CS is looking almost perfect at the moment. So that's 13,000 to 12,000. That gold lead is almost exclusively mostly from the Jinx, because if you look at it, Mordekaiser got first blood and he's on 2 kills and he's ahead on CS, but all of that still equates to a CS, a gold. They're behind in gold still even after that, you know. So it's a little bit of a CS game at the moment almost.
Yeah, as he supports Thresh often to completely upgrade his support item. Not the most optimal thing to do. Preferred to have seen a Boots Rush instead. Perhaps the first upgrade. But I did notice that Tristana's opted to go for that, I can't remember the name of the rune, but it allows you to go to death. Shopkeeper something or something? I don't know. But the keystone, not the keystone, sorry, the rune that allows... Futures Masker, there we go.
Yeah, that's
so
interesting.
She was
normally,
a negative.
Yeah, normally ADCs don't go for Futures Market, but I mean, I get it.
Anybody really goes Futures Market.
I believe Futures Market is actually fairly viable on Ivan, I believe, but that's pretty much the only champion that I know that still goes Futures Market.
One Ivan, like Harvard, I think, this tournament. Let's keep it that way, guys.
I definitely like Ivan. I think it's a nice champion to play.
He was just recently buffed this, I think, last patch.
Yes, he's actually a ranged champion now. Yeah, he's a ranged champion now.
I don't know why that was meant to make him stronger, but okay.
Actually, the vision game being played here by the mid laners seemed pretty well. They keep on clearing each other's vision out, so that's it's always good to see. At the moment, that is a very good ward that's going to be placed there, because Flying Pig was actually just on his way to gank. So maybe
nasty boy, Flying Pig. Bit of a trade top side. Quickly realizing I can't actually fight this guy anymore, but Flying Pig going for a very cheeky invade. I mean, his mid not exactly quite easily responding to that. It's a gangplank with a Fizz. Fizz is gonna get there 9 out of 10 times before the gangplank. Beautiful hook coming through for V8 Porky. Nautilus with the counter though. Depth charge. A lot of damage. The box can be advanced as well, and Modern Goblin forced to burn both summoners. Interesting fact though that Nautilus plus Jinx opting to go for the heal plus barrier combination opposed to the standard heal ignite. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's maybe not. It seems like a very Red Raven thing to do, or old Red Raven to do at least. The old Red Raven, yeah. he used to normally like doing that, as far as I remember, because he didn't trust his supports that much.
No, it wasn't meta, I think at one point. He just didn't switch back after it went out of meta. Flying Pig getting quite a cheeky kill actually. Flash gonna be invested as well, and that's gonna be the Fizz now dead, plus Flash burnt, so Flying investing his own Flash for the mid lane.
Yeah, and I mentioned in Champion Select that this is one of his comfort picks, actually his main by the looks of things. And I mean, he's played a lot of games and they banned out a lot of junglers, but for some reason they thought that this one would be fine. I mean, at the moment, like you also said in Champion Select, Echo is a really good pick at the moment, and he can be flexed. So they obviously really wanted this pick because they first picked it.
Oh,
One of the mains. That's a very cheeky rocket, almost killing him there. 30
nice connection.
Less than 30 health.
Showing us that plat 2 stunners.
Blue side actually did ping out that there's a ward there, so they are going to try and clear it before Echo tries and gank here. Might actually, yeah, it looks like he might go for a lane gank. They are pushing tower though. Should be pushing out out from it in a second. Yeah, there we go. There is a ward in second brush. So if he does move out of this brush, he will be spotted out. I don't think they know. Yeah, there we go. Wait a second. They pinged they pinged on their way. They do see the Echo, right?
Not a question mark. Ping's first on a rotate down. He really makes it work. He does not have the flash available versus the bot side. Eddie carry is completely out of summoner spots at this point. Depth charge should be used. Echo locked on only V and Porky, but here comes the Shark. Flying Pig turning back into the middle of their team. I don't think that's where you want to go for it. Box now used Echo down and a little bit of an over investment. V8 Porky though left behind to swim with the fishes. Last attack gonna be there by Sonic. So,
I mean, the rotation from the gangplank was a little bit late, but really good that they just waited out calmly. They saw the Echo on the ward. First came in Rome. Very good rotation actually there from Red Team. Basically seeing what the enemy team wanted to do and countering it with that rotation. Ooh.
Single track, SKT. Brawler. So gameplay mid actually working out quite well so far, like I said, sort of a little bit more of a mid to late game.
And I mean, it's also worth noticing that he actually already finished his Triforce as well, so 13-minute Triforce actually not too bad. 3-1-12-2, so Gangplank, not too bad. Need to watch the... Rammus just needs to watch out there, he's a bit low. Gangplank is a boy that does a fair bit of damage at the moment.
Rocket attempt at mid side once again, doesn't connect this time, so just drive by Rocket. Attempt number 2 failed.
Oh, apparently we have a quick explanation of Mandela effect. Someone posted in chat as well, so that's nice. So you can read it if you have time.
I don't actually have chat open, unfortunately. Apologies to chat. Frosty Boy, questionable gang attack. Fizz a little bit late, connects the Shark though. A lot of damage.
They clear for the counter.
SCT single track, Flying Pig. We'll maybe just go down here actually, Flying Pig. Nicely played.
Yep. That's always the frustrating thing with Echo. You don't always know when this ultimate is up, and when it is, it's unfortunate. You think maybe I'll get a kill here from a tower or something, and that Ignite will tick away, ult will pop. Nope. Presses the R, right back to safety, no problem.
So tier 1 tower bot side almost down. Plates already gone seeing as it is 15 minutes in. And only one Drake been taken so far. Oh, the cheeky armor recall, but it's actually a bamboozle technique. I like it.
Interesting. That's Tristana's IE is finished on 74 CS. That one kill seems like I think it was a shutdown from the Echo actually that brought her that IE. It means just shows you how worth it is to get shutdown gold onto fed members of the team.
She's still down 1,000 gold, something to keep in mind. So completed boots versus the single like level 1 boots.
That's true. But I mean, I think for ADCs it's definitely very worth it to finish the IE on Tristana as well. Definitely she's not out of the game just yet. But yeah, we actually see some skirmishing in the mid lane between the Fizz and the Gangplank.
Shark versus fish. I mean, not shark versus fish. Sorry, pirate versus fish.
The good old tails.
But, man with ability to control time, many in the brush amongst the pink. But having both flash as well as ult available, I don't know if they want to go for this dive. Actually takes the turret instead. And Tier 1 now down. First brick going over to the side of GHS, so good job to them.
This question is, will the spiky turtle come to the rescue?
Freaking spiky turtles.
Meanwhile,
a really spiky
got the
boy.
tower.
Well, in this case, he's called Frosty Boy, so...
Yeah, there's a lot of objectives being taken already so early into the game, which just shows like the waves being pushed in and tower damage getting taken all the time really added up this game. 2 towers already over 2 Grantleigh, so they're actually pushing really hard on these towers, and the only lane that's sort of still struggling a little bit is here on McLean, but he's managed to play very safe since that kill in the start. They've basically realized that, you know what, coming back to this top lane is not worth it, and he's building tank anyways, and it's a volley base, so he doesn't really need jungle pressure. He's just going to play it safe. And even considering the way he's playing safe, he's actually got a fair amount of
big fight. Bark's going to be breaking the start, but from Flying Pig not just sure to be able to survive this one. Tanking the turret, V8 Porky now dead. Flying Pig picking that point up easily. And that's going to be the support dead for that interaction, 8-4. And GHS looking very strong for the first game. So do you recognize those club tags, dude?
For Grantleigh.
The entire blue side, dude.
Yeah, it's boosted beyond bronze. That's what they were used to called in the leg.
Hold that thought. A lot of damage coming through. That's gonna be the easy shutdown going over to Mordekaiser using his Shadow Realm. But Team Fight gonna be breaking out here, and looks like no start coming through as Echo does bite the dust, make that the clean kill in the backline. No more Eddie Carriage starting now dead. Modern Goblin though, taking a shot from afar, unfortunately no connection.
And see, this is the power of having a tank top that doesn't need jungle pressure. The whole after that double kill, he's been playing.
That is a weird interaction. Tova sort of been used as a bit of a volleyball,
being pulled around like a bag of potatoes. But anyways, yeah, I mean, the whole game long after that double kill, McLean has just been roughing it out on top, just getting any CS that he can. And he just buys some tank items, comes to mid lane, and chomps everyone to death, apparently. So that's one of the beauties of having a tank that doesn't need necessarily to get fed or to scale. Can still be sort of useful, even though if you had a rough lane.
Yeah. Drake is actually available in the next minute or so. So see whether either side actually plays for it. Sort of a blue star rotation to that objective. Let's see whether they commit. One Goblin with the dirty farming, making sure to get as much gold as possible. So he wants to kind of get that late game 3-item power spike Jinx carry. Honestly, wouldn't have been surprised had Modern Goblin gone for cleanse instead of barrier in this this team. He's versing a fair amount of CC. Oh, dredge line, Frosty Boy, Lantern places to make sure that he's secure or safe.
Jinx is not at the fight yet. If they do choose to pick a fight, then Tristana will be there.
Yeah, I would like to see Jinx rotating, kind of picking them back. I think he wants to get a little bit more gold before he decides to group. But Drake now on the map, kind of an interesting decision. I feel like had they had the vision control, would have been able to see that they did not have their AD carry and could have potentially forced something.
Yeah, I think if Jinx can manage to get one more crit item, I think it's going to be pretty much at her power spike.
Frosty Boy forced the flash as the Lantern was just stacked upon. He could not get there, so that's going to be the first one now dead. Ramus Frosty, McLean super low. Hurley, the Jinx is looking to be resetting here, but Echo picking up the next two as Beefmaster tries to make it a 1v1. Does end up taking the one with himself, so that will be the one to force a very nicely placed team fight, and the Jinx damage coming in clutch.
And I was just mentioning about how she needed one crit item, but apparently it doesn't matter too much. And they're actually going to maybe hit you for the Baron. Yes, it will be.
So that should be a pretty free Baron. I don't see any opportunity to contest, no plant available. So even if Frosty Boy can get there, he doesn't have the flash, as he did burn that last fight because of the Lantern stack. Arguably a poor placed Lantern by V8 Porky.
should be able to finish it.
Yeah, pretty free. Red side now heading towards that bot side. See if they can just collect themselves that ocean drink before the reset. That's what started off this bit of interaction. But blue side definitely in the lead at this point. Let's see whether they can use that Baron to crack the base and get that first in hit.
And at the moment, it seems like Mordekaiser is the biggest force in that team, so they sort of need to try and play around him. I think Tristana is also not doing too badly, but it just seems like she's not getting down the damage that she needs to in these fights. I think also the fact that they have a lot of almost burst damage in the team with the Gangplank and Echo and Jinx. You really need to watch out where you stand. If you stand grouped, Jinx rockets will basically splash crit you. If if you're not with your team, Echo will probably one-shot you. I mean, there's so many factors to consider here. Where to place you as an ADC when you're up against this team from Grantleigh.
The Drake not actually just make it over to blue side as well. They're not going to be rushed apparently, which is a little bit disappointing. I think they could have snuck that. Top side though. Pressure being applied by Modern Goblin and support Dover.
I mean, a second Cloud Drake might actually be really useful here to Echo when he tries to maybe do rotations.
Flying pick. 1v2 does get the double man lockdown. That is a really cheeky pick coming through, and Flying should be able to secure. Yep, rocket drive by. Very nicely played by Flying. Done a turn into the dive, but here comes Popcap jumping in, a beautiful hook coming through. Echo not able to use the current shift, so AD carry Popcap not able to pick up that little bit of extra gold, bonus bounty and all. 2-3 turret down, Inhibitor exposed, we want top side, bit of a split push from one Goblin. Not interested in creeping.
Oh, they should be able to pick this up. Baron buff is still up, so it should be pretty easy. But I have to decide where they're going to be though, because bot side tier 2 is getting taken, and Jinx is trying to take this inhibitor tower as well. This Fizz gonna miss the ult.
Opts to pick the red buff, but at this point should be pretty smooth sailing for the first game for GHS. Not the particularly easiest game to throw at this point. I mean, I feel like they're just a little bit too far ahead, especially with the 8 for 2 for 9 Gangplank, which I honestly didn't see working out that well, but well played nonetheless by Prowler.
It seems like Jinx just clearing out all of the red side jungle, so Rammus will not be able to get anything from South that this game. I can actually see Ram is still struggling even to buy his first item after the jungling item, so Ram is really not having a great time this game financially.
Winner of this this match or the series goes through to the finals, right? Or I'm mistaken?
I believe so, yes, actually.
Flying pick, single track. The flip over the head, the flash can be best. That's going to be the pick on a Fizz. He is now done, so the rocket once again, just the zone. And Dover getting yoinked through the wall. Realizes, hang on, that's a big mistake. Beefmaster taking him to the Shadow Realm. Tristana now dead as well as support, Nautilus. Was being the main pick of that game. Teleport coming through, looks like the Nexus finish will be rushed. Dude, just gotta keep in mind that Beefmaster cannot actually ulti the Gangplank Prowler due to the fact that he has his oranges which cleanses it. Oh, Beefmaster on a turret, the barrier coming in, looking to use the rockets in melee form. Doesn't really matter too much though, just finishing off the aces. They do end up taking the Nexus for game number 1.
Oh, well done to Grantleigh, playing a very actually methodical game, I would say. I mean, there was one or two, like the double kill in the top lane was probably one of the biggest problems. But if Mordekaiser didn't get that lead in the early game, I think actually that Grantleigh would have literally no problem this game. Like mid and 8 bot lane wasn't that much of a problem for them the whole series long. So Grantleigh actually playing this game out pretty well.
GG well played. Look at the damage chance, that mid-game Gangplank coming in clutch. Most damage in the game. Honorable mention to Mordekaiser though, he did play his heart out trying to get the team to victory, but not going to happen for the first one. Thoughts as to whether we were going to game 3 or not? Predictions?
I don't know. From what I can see, if they keep on playing this methodical game, I mean, at like 14 minutes in, I believe they had 2 towers already, and after that the laning phase ended, and the whole point was that the Volibear was behind. He came to mid lane and got a triple kill. So I mean, what part of that game is for Grantleigh a problem then? They just win the game either way. I don't know. It seems like Grantleigh is playing a very solid game, and I think it's probably going to be a 2-0.
I guess so. We're gonna have to see whether there will be a big mismatch in the drafts for the second game and what the story is. But good luck to both sides, guys. We'll see you shortly for game number 2. Be right back. Inside TP looking to try to catch out the Nasus. Once again, it's the Tryndamere situation all over again. And meanwhile, bot side, Inhumane Killer. Beautiful flay just before death will result in the 1-for-1 trade. AD carry and AD carry getting kill. And Nasus down as well. Peanut picking up that one for himself. The popcorn is not going to be there, so it looks like Nasus might be in a bit of trouble. Oh, nope, no snare connection. You know, bot side on the other side, on the opposite side of the map. Peanut picking up the first kill, able to just assassinate Pilot. Trying to go for the second one. Does get the double on top side. Oh, nice double tick into that double kill. So the back and forth. 2 members alive for the 2 members alive. Even trade.
Tristana was killed off a little bit too early in that game, and this is something I talked about last game as well when she was Kai'Sa. It just feels like you give this massive lead over to a bot lane. And
oh, Pendragon though. Puts Renekton against the Drake. That is not what you can do when your jungler is not there. Garen dying just before that very risky fight or dragon attempt in the first place. This may just be the throw as Red side is slowly trying to claw their way back in, but Lycan Wraith going to be taken out by Pyke, assassinated, and that's going to be that gold value share.
With the farm, he's at the moment a bit behind, so maybe would be worth it to try and pick up more farm, or in the late game he can maybe just sit in the side lane and then join team fights.
Rumble Transport plus the Dredge line could have been up for the late heal. Not going to be able to keep him alive. Tiny game of dropping the ball a little bit there, but Sona yet again getting caught out. Paul just getting a free free engage to the fight. Seems like he doesn't want to fight back. They're already using that depth charge.
And see, this is the type of fighting that I've told you that they would be better at, but looks like Mordekaiser has other plans.
Doesn't care. There's a turret there. He's looking for the boy. Caitlyn stuck. Gank post 6 due to the nature of the ultimate. So looks like bot side Pendragon. The flash gonna be with Sona, only able to lock down the support. Unfortunately, Tiny Gamer now done for it, losing half his stacks. And SAB in a little bit of trouble as well. The second one not gonna be there. The flash will be enough to keep him alive just before Mott finishes him off, thanks to.
It could be. It's also Kung Fu Panda, I believe. That's also the turtle. The turtle is called Mr. Po, I believe.
Beautiful flash, depth charge going to be there. Unfortunately, not going to be able to land the burn skill, but it should be enough ignites. Invested on the heal a little bit late, so won't be able to get much out of that. But
if they can still use these TPs and the side lane pressure of the Tryndamere, because remember, Tryndamere is doing fairly well in the top lane. He has 2 CS up. He has a kill. Speaking of ahead.
Tier 1 turret does find Blitzcrank going down to Rizard. That is no turret you should be trying to defend, but Wraith on the other hand with the overextend. That's
multiple members up to deal with Yorick late games, to be honest, I'm pretty sure.
Thrash caught out. Blue side rotation. Deadly Virus picking up that kill. But look at the gold department top side. I mean, 25 versus 85 CS. That's oh, hold up thought. He does connect to Carl. He made this up to take it. He does actually let it out.
Yeah, and I think that could have been very successful for them, but they were sort of split up a bit. Leona was sort of going over to focusing the Thresh. Diana.
Diana for the flank. Zenith played the flash out from the Great. First blood going to be going through as Rammus finishes off Diana. Attempt at the Baron. The Crescendo going to be able to lock down Mr. Po. 1,000 health left. It looks like the Baron not going to go down just yet, but it does actually. Garen not picking that objective. So that's going to be Renekton dead, plus the Berserk not gonna get there, just short. And team fight as well as the Baron. Stopwatch coming in, clash that little bit of health left. And the fight continues. Wraith does go down. Mott not able to be assassinated for this team fight, so he can quite easily allow his team to win and carry to victory. He got deleted in the previous team fight, and that resulted in the game. Galio gets the tournament team, and that should result in a free kill. Oh, Aurelia, PRG, cheeky fadeaway, lost Airblade. I don't know if that's what you want to be doing, guys. You're going for a little bit of a deadly dive. Stopwatch coming in very clutch, actually.
Them mostly, and then the game 1 is where they had good landing phases, but they couldn't answer macro-wise. And I wish I saw that again from Mpangeni, but unfortunately, Berserk just not able to 1v5 like he did the previous game.
Yeah, I'll be honest, the chat bot or Streamlabs, I don't know if we're still up or not.
Okay, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Drake now on the siege. Blue side starting to rotate, but I don't know if they can contest us at this point. They're so far down. Irelia with a beautiful engage does unfortunately end up just getting deleted. Virus has other plans for her. Blitzcrank trying to be as annoying as possible. Finds the Nautilus.
That's pretty good. That's fair enough for them. And what will they do with it though? It looks like they are
Don't
going
need to take a team fight. Just drive the minions, but it looks like they have other plans. Mott, beautiful two-man lockdown. Hang on, that's the second jump coming through as the Sanja bites the dust, and red side snowball continues, Baron in hand.
Yeah.
Only pilot once again, no QSS in sight. Abnormal. Inhibitor now down. Hang on, actually, Kayla's still alive. Abnormal might just be the one that dies this time. Just surviving. Poison not quite enough as Gallia's next one down. Peanut picking the kill, wanted Inhumane, so that's Jungler. Taking out Jungler was an objective to throw out. So this is the big win it or break it moment. Let's see where the blue side EHS starts to rotate, or if it's going to be that free objective. It looks like it will be with the blue side teleport. Trendomir going in very aggressive, not much rage available, but that's going to be the immediate rejection from Mott's. No friend, you're not allowed in this pit. Look for that trade, but the shotgun is going to be doing too much work. The Winions though trying to finish off that last little damage. Still the health plus a red buff keeping him alive.
And it seems like they would just have a last bit of breath in this game. Will West will be able to do anything with this now? Is this going to be that last?
And the double kill on a Sinja, and that looks to be potentially the clean wipe. Hang on though. Bit of a back and forth trade. Two members alive, make that one berserk. The last one from the side of EHS. Big fight on our hands as the stun does connect. Hold my head. Berserk. Mr. Poe. Trade and Sin.
It was our Zenith blade, not our Flash.
Fight top side. Maiden is here. You cannot afford to fight Yorick and his Maiden. It just makes him too powerful. But it looks like he will be forced to flash out in the 1v3 situation. As Maiden is cleared. Nice little hook that's gonna be connected. And that will result in a free kill on to Gang.
Speaking of
Humane, can be flashing plus smizing the cap means that the cap will go over to Peanut. But
and welcome back, friends, to the High School Esports League VS Gaming in 2019. And we have Grantleigh High School on the right side and Jeppe on the left. And it was a pretty interesting game one. It felt like Beefmaster played really, really well, trying to almost 1v5 that game. Got the double kill on the early game. But at the end, I mean, it doesn't really matter. When you play something like a volleyball top, it's not necessarily meant that you need farm or CS, and it just shows. He pretty much just played safe the whole game after that, and it paid off. The rest of the team didn't get much from any of the other lanes, and that just sort of just translated into an easy victory for Grantleigh. And we'll have to see what they're going to change up in the pick and ban phase now to get around that.
yeah, so we've got that Jinx ban straight off the bat into the remake apparently. Don't know what's the story behind that, but what Worlds games are happening today that you're super hyped for?
Myself, I am obviously, and if we had the webcams on, we would show you now, but it's Team Liquid versus IG, so that's something that I'm looking very forward to. Other than that, there is also, I think, another game that a lot of people would be hyped for because it's the good old NA versus EU rivalry. But even though I am a Team Liquid fan, I'm not going to say that the NA team is going to win. So it's not going to be. It's going to be Fnatic versus Clutch Gaming, I believe, at $1,500. And I do not think Clutch Gaming is going to win that. I think Fnatic is just a bit too strong. Clutch Gaming has been struggling a lot. I mean, even against the wildcard teams, they dropped a lot of victories. So I'm definitely going to say probably Fnatic's going to take that, but 100% I'm very hyped to see Team Liquid versus IG.
Did multiple members from this lobby just drop? He lost 3 players or something like that. I don't know, people moved on to Spectate, that's what it was. But no, fair enough. Some hypey games happening. Did you catch any of yesterday's?
Yesterday's, yeah, I did watch. I mean, I watched bits and pieces of all of the games, but I watched the whole IG versus Team Liquid game.
And any comments without revealing too much? In case anybody hasn't actually caught up with the highlights.
I mean, it's definitely very interesting. People are bringing out a lot of interesting comps. It seems like, I don't know if it's just because it's day one and people want to try different things or not reveal their hand, but I'm really enjoying it. For example, there was a Garen Yumi, so bot lane. So there's a lot of spicy things, and I would recommend you follow it. It's very interesting, very fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys don't have time to watch the actual matches, just check it out on YouTube. There's normally channels that create like instant highlights from literally after the game finishing, between matches. But jumping back into the champs league, not too sure what happened there. Perhaps technical difficulty, player disconnecting. Nothing too serious there. Jinx not taken away, as well as the Echo plus Kled versus Yasuo Vladimir, and the final ban from the side of McLean. And isn't McLean a detergent? Isn't that like a cleaning agent?
Maybe, I think so. It sounds familiar. But yeah, the Echo is going to be taken away. Personally, I think a very good idea to do that. Beefmaster is going to get his Mordekaiser again. Question is McLean going to... You know what? Are we going to see McLean go his good old singed? You know, the good old singed custom McLean?
They let the Mordekaiser through again. That's a bit interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the Mordekaiser was literally the only problem in that game, but maybe they feel like there was other picks. Like, I think definitely the Vladimir was a good ban away, because if I remember correctly, yesterday McLean was only... Oh, okay. That's something McLean also definitely likes to play a lot.
Yeah, I like McLean's Renekton. I have watched it a fair amount of times, so it's something to watch top. Maybe 6, let's let the Mordekaiser through. I'll take him on his main.
Definitely, and I mean, we also see the Leona coming through at the moment, which is it feels like they are getting literally all of the mains. McLean, Renekton is most played for Dova, General Troll. Leona is most played. Actually, a 73% win rate on that
Leona though.
No, that was a different team yesterday. This is a not a non-scuffed Leona by the looks of things, and not afraid to go in Leona and kill level 2. So you need to be, but that's interesting. We have a Mordekaiser and an Estus locked in.
So, we know Kenny D released those VS Gaming royalty highlights. Do you think he's going to make some for the high school league? Is there like a winning side, a highlight reel from Kenny D?
I mean, maybe we get one of the winning school teams. Maybe they'll do something for us. We'll have to see.
Early, fingers crossed. But what to see Caitlyn locked in as a counter to the Leona. Kane actually making it through the draft for once. So we've seen Peanuts Kane in the past, especially in solo queue and whatnot. But we get to see whether there's another high school esports league player who can live up to that Kane legacy.
I mean, 73%, 73 games with a 53% win rate on his Kane. It doesn't seem too bad, and I'm looking forward to see. And also, they don't have a lot of squishy, so might be going red Kane this game. Actually, we'll have to see what the rest of the bans, the picks hold.
So red Kane being the tankier form, red Kane being more of the assassin, depending on the pace of the game. If you get ahead early, etc. Generally, red Kane is the go-to if it's not solo queue though.
Definitely, and I wonder. It seems like V8 Porky does actually play some Morgana, so I wonder if they are maybe going to look at either banning Thresh or Morgana here, just to make sure that Leona does not get counted in the spot lane. This was one of the first picks.
And if you guys did miss it, I believe GHS taking the first game. So if red side do take the win in this second game, we will actually have the victors who will move on to the finals, I believe. But I don't know, Sinister, are you happy for that best of 3 third game, or do you feel like this is just set in stone, done and dusted, red side victory all the way?
I feel like it's Grantleigh is playing a really good game, and I feel like if they continue that trend, we're probably gonna not see game 3. Personally, but I mean, it's always cool to see extra games coming and a more closer game, since most of the games we have casted in this tournament has been super close, and I think all of our games yesterday went to a third game, I believe.
Yeah, like literally all of them. It's the VS Gaming curse. That's all I'm gonna say.
So I mean, yeah.
was it 2 years back? VS Gaming finals at was it Rage or Comic Con? I can't remember. And literally every game that could went to 3 games was 40 minutes long, and we casted legitimately the entire day to the point where we just wanted to pass out. Yeah,
it was like very late at night, very interesting. But I mean, it's all good. And I mean, back then it was back in Joburg as well. So us coastal people used to nice and moisturized air. I mean, it did not do well with our voices and nasals. It's unfortunate.
Yep, I think everybody got at least sick after that weekend. But getting back to the pick and ban phase so far, Mordekaiser versus Renekton, top side Leona, plus the AD carry of choice looking to be that Vayne potentially. Yep, versus the Caitlyn Nautilus, jungle Rammus versus Kane, which I honestly don't think is too bad for the Rammus. I think he's quite decent into Kane, and that's lane Karthus. I would have expected a jungle Karthus if anything.
And that's very interesting to see there. I mean, a lot of mains coming through here. It's almost all mains. I mean, Kane main, Karthus main, Leona main. It's everyone here's getting their mains basically except for Modern Goblin. Not on his main there with the Vayne. But I mean, Vayne being picked into Caitlyn, that's very interesting. It seems like he thinks he's very comfortable on this champion to outplay Caitlyn, being his counter pick.
Yeah, that matchup definitely should favor, in theory, the blue side ball lane due to the fact that they have that range advantage, as well as both tanky supports. So it shouldn't be too even of a matchup. We'll have to see whether the junglers have any pressure on that one. We haven't seen Rammus doing too much work so far, so let's see whether Frosty Boy can pull through for the second match. But other than that, Nasa's top lane actually, Mordekaiser mid, so we will connect into Nasa, which is even better of a matchup, I believe. But I don't really know what the plan is for that Nasa spot. Unless it's Mordekaiser. Actually, no, it definitely would be Mordekaiser mid. And Nasa top. Well, how does the matchup work between Mordekaiser and Karthus? I believe Mord most likely going to be able to dictate the pace of that matchup.
Yeah, definitely.
Otherwise,
And I mean, the interesting thing to note here as well is V8 Porky is also looks like a Thresh main or one of his most played champions, and he did not opt into counter pick it with the Leona. So I mean that was still open for him, but he opted in for the Nautilus as well. Maybe feels like he can maybe get some easier CC done with the ultimate onto the Vayne or something.
yeah, the point and click ulti is quite nice. Like you mentioned. But I mean, Karthus going for cleanse this game, looking out for the Rammus once again. Bit of an interesting one. We did not see a cleanse last game, so maybe that's the reason. But honestly, I'm gonna have to be pretty surprised if Karthus gets away with this laning phase for free. He wants to kind of scale towards the late game, so fingers crossed he doesn't get absolutely obliterated by Beefmaster. He's shown us that he is very comfortable. He's Mordekaiser already. Predictions?
Predictions. I think at this stage I'm still going to give it to Grantleigh High School or to the right side, GHS. Just due to the fact that not only do they have a lot of mains on their team, like they literally have 4 comfort picks that are their main play champions, solo queue and otherwise, other than the Vayne maybe. Also, they did a really, really clean game last game, I think. Other than that, the top lane plane, I think if they don't do something like that again, they should be set to win this, I think.
So we'll see what happens. 1 minute left on that spectator game number 2 of the best of 3 VS Gaming High School Esports League, JHS versus GHS. And myself as well as Sinister on the cast this morning. Sinister, I mean, do we know the results of any of the other games? Do you know if they finished or anything like that? Or?
No, not completely sure. I have not heard of any of the results.
But I believe there are 2 other matches happening at the same time.
Yes, there's 2 other matches. The one thing also to notice, I mean, last game the Fizz wasn't doing too badly. In this game, they don't have that carry potential. They're going to do the Nasus mid by the looks of things. So I'm not completely sure if that's going to work out too well for them. I mean, Karthus mid is definitely just going to keep on scaling as time goes on. And Nasus might, if he doesn't get much items or something. I'm not sure what build he's going to go. Is he going to go AP or AD or what's the story going to be? But
that as well.
It's going to be a bit of a coin flip on whether Jeppe is going to. Maybe they have a specific plan. We're going to have to wait and see what they're going to do with this comp. I mean, they can still switch up lanes depending on what they want. Mordekaiser can maybe still go mid and Nasus top maybe, and then he goes just a standard Nasus build. So Mordekaiser mid. That's definitely an open option here.
I think that was more likely Mordekaiser mid because of the fact that Nasus got the TP versus the Ignite from Mord. So Renekton with Ignite versus the top. We'll see what happens there. So it looks like Conqueror Nasus, so will not be going for the AP prediction, more of the ARAM build really. Other than that, pretty much standard. Don't see anything that sticks out too much. Nautilus going for Exhaust, Leona Ignite. And yeah, best of luck to both sides. Infernal Mordekaiser, Pool Party Renekton.
Unfortunately, Leona breaking the current theme of the that skins of that team, or actually McLean as well. But I mean, if she had Lunar Eclipse Leona there, that would have looked pretty sick with Soul, Kane, Karthus, Lightbane, and Project Vayne.
Yeah, combo breaker.
Other than that, Arcade Caitlyn, pretty nice skin.
Yeah, Arcade Caitlyn isn't there the prestige version for that skin as well?
Oh yes, there is. All of the blue on her is basically gold. Looks pretty
Yeah.
nice.
I like that they've updated the splash. I don't know if you remember when it came out, but it looked like her neck was coming out of her shoulder.
All right. I mean, basic anatomy design problems, I guess.
Yep, but it's not Riot Games' fault. They're an indie company after all.
Going to see what, because we know the high school esports leagues has these weird invites and stacks they like to do. Pretty non-standard considering what the rest of South Africa normally does at finals. I think we get more standard starts from like the higher ranked teams than the esports the high school teams. The high school teams really like these weird invades and stacks and
I mean, any team to
pathing.
get sort of like an edge, I guess. They want to get a bit of advantage, which we saw before, like the light sword.
Like say this, but this time it actually seems like they might do the almost more defensive stand. I mean, Nautilus is in a very aggressive position, but like the rest of the stack on the backside of the Mordekaiser, Rammus, and Caitlyn. Normally, Caitlyn can stand in the tri brush as well to see a bit earlier if people are coming in. So she's going to stand at the back there. So if they come in, they just back off. But that's basically just a bit more safe, I guess.
Yeah, Darius shouldn't be standing in lane. He should be covering that entrance. But I mean, I guess it is being covered. Clean and cheeky walk in. Not too sure what he's trying to do. Just gonna get vision. Wants to see where the jungler starts. Potentially the ping's coming through there.
Yeah, that's actually a really nice ward there from McLean. That's going to help a lot tracking the jungler where he's going to be. Since he is going to start red, they will know exactly if he's still red side or if he's starting blue. So they'll know exactly what side of the jungle he is. That's actually a really
Pretty
nice ward there
important
from
information.
Yeah. I mean, blue team does know he spotted this, so maybe Rammus can innovate his ganking path a little bit here. Maybe go around it somehow.
McLean trying to be fancy, but kind of messes up the minion stack. He wanted to aggro them all onto the same minion. At least that's what my understanding of that intention was. But so I think the real question is, what is Chat and Kenny D doing up at this early on a Sunday?
If you know Kenny D like me, just like myself, he has a very scuffed work schedule. So for all we knew, he just came from work. Who knows?
Or could be at work right now.
Exactly.
Sure. Yeah. In game time.
2 minutes, 8 seconds, 9 seconds.
8,
10,
9. I'm like a second behind. Just pause and play.
14, 15.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Okay.
18.
19.
But I'm predicting some early blood in top lane for McLean. I feel like his Renekton is going to be enough to win this lane. I mean, it naturally does favor the Renekton. Plus with the Ignite, going to give him that little bit of an edge too. So that's the lane for me to watch out for. Gone for that cheeky triple rejuve beat bull, so he's going for sustain. I don't know if I like that on Renekton, honestly. I feel like the standard corrupting potion or hold that thought though.
Okay.
Flying Pig has the red buff, a lot of damage. The flash stun coming through the ignite and single track forced to flash away. I don't know if they'll be able to pick that one up, but they do get the summoner spell and the lane priority.
But I mean, that's still very important. Not only did Nasus flash now, so that will be Renekton being... If Renekton is very aggressive now, he won't be able to get away, especially because Renekton has the CC on his W. And Renekton was already doing really well on this lane, so it's...
outside there. Rammus. Not gonna be able to land the Kate trap, unfortunately. Yeah, I actually... Okay, so I found a newfound respect for really good Caitlyn's. Gonna hold that thought. There's Flying Pig. Does go for the repeat gang top lane. Nasus walking up with no flash. That's gonna be the repeat. Succeeded. And TB still available. Will he look for the third at gang attempt repeat? TB's back to the lane.
I mean, obviously this game Grantleigh just wants to say that we just want to make up for last game quickly. We saw a double kill, and now we're going to show you that it's not gonna happen again.
Yeah, shame on me if it happens once. Or shame on you.
Honestly, because of the way Nautilus's Q works, 100% I was anticipating that to land. I'm not even surprised these days on those max range Qs to not land. I actually just expected. Yep. It's been one of the most buggiest hitboxes literally since like season 3.
Yeah. Up there with Morgana binding. So I've played with a Caitlyn who was like I don't even know what rank, but the dude was actually insane. He would place a trap almost against the wall, but leave a choke point so that you would walk through and then cut you off with the second trap. Basically, the standard just covered the entrance kind of thing. And yeah, so single track is the little weak point in the team, it seems, for this game. At least that's what the Son of Ren thinks. So they just repeat gank over and over again. And we can see why he potentially has such a high win rate on Kane. Just using the repeat ganks, and Rammus just farming his way up as a result. Single track a little bit capped at this point, and Renekton most definitely should be able to just stomp topside with that. Already 20 CS advantage, plus 2 assists.
Yeah, just keep in mind that last game Beefmaster was actually on top with this Mordekaiser, and he is in mid now. So maybe he's just keeping with the trend of not going where the Mordekaiser Beefmaster is and just letting him be, let Carthus scale up on his own.
I mean, that could have been the strategy from the get-go, but with that failed gank top in the first game where they gave Beefmaster the double, they couldn't actually play into that strategy, so perhaps game number 2, just a lucky situation where it didn't actually work out.
I mean, obviously, letting a Nasus not getting any farm, that's pretty big for this game, and that's going to cause him to be pretty much a null factor for most of the game, unless he somehow just gets like AFK farm later on.
Run, Rammus, run! Able to smile away the chicken. That's the camp going over to him. Did the chicken? I mean, chicken. Kane didn't start chickens. He started red, right? He was
Yes,
pulled by McLean.
Yes, I do believe he did start red. He got pulled by McLean, but yeah, actually, I think a Raptor start could have been viable for him.
Yeah, that's one of the few junglers who does benefit quite nicely off that Raptor start. Ken.
Sheep is interesting to know that Renekton backed and got an instant BF sword, so I think he's going to get a Spear of Stojan very quickly on that champion.
Yep. Would it arguably not have been better to go the tier match? Reason being is that you could then shove the wave a lot easier and keep Nasus on the tower, which would effectively deny them CS. Oh, bit of a trade bot side, especially because Kane was heading towards bot side jungle, so keeping him on a tower could work. But on the other hand, you could always just try freeze and deny. So.
Yeah, he's probably just going to try and play very aggressive if Nasus tries to walk up to get any farm, which is basically what he's doing right now. Yeah, just denying, exactly as you're saying.
Where's Paxi when you need him? Renekton, man.
I mean, the Nasus is even putting down the E to help the minions push into the tower, which is like not really good for him.
Meanwhile, mid side exactly even CS, 51 to 52. Now that he picked up one more after I've said that. But surprising that Carthus is able to farm up with such high mana cost this early. He's at least that tier. Rotations there.
I mean, I think using the Q sparingly and making sure you hit single target minions, it will do extra damage if you don't hit multiple at the same time. It actually is not too bad farming with this Q. If you just
yeah, but it's more that you run out of mana very quickly. So without, like, for example, a tier or something, he's in theory should fall behind.
Yeah, but I mean, it's at least he does have the range advantage over the Mordekaiser, so he's got that going for him, which is nice.
McLean pulling the real heat with that Renekton now. What's the best Renekton skin? Is it Toy Renekton?
I like Renek. It's Renek Toy.
Renek Toy. There we go.
Wait until Leona gets the glowing hair on that skin. Then it starts looking really good.
I don't really care for this whole like concept that Riot does sometimes with skins, where it's like there's 2 different versions that are released at the same time. They did it with Blitzcrank, they did it with Leona. Who else did they do it with? Was it those 2? But they're basically the same skin but different. At least at the same time.
Can at least choose if you like one more. I got the. If you like me, you just get the whole bundle.
But isn't it just a chroma?
No, well, it's sort of just a chroma, but whatever.
Okay, and invading topside jungle, flying pig, looking to try and do some cheeky work, try to find Rammus. His natural habitat is currently 47 CS.
There's
so
no
7 CS up
there,
on
so he doesn't
Rammus.
know that he's there. Oh, he's gonna spot him out now.
Not gonna be able to find him. He's a quick boy. He's a frosty boy. If
Renekton is there as well. Yeah. Just gonna yeet himself out of there with that Rammus. He is gonna get a flea blue buff for that by the looks of things, because Rammus is recalling. No, he's gonna try and look to contest this maybe.
Yeah, that's something you gotta keep in mind, that there's no real way for Rammus' laners to keep up with them. Because the rotation's going to be a lot slower than the counterparts. But McLean are going to be coming out finally. The gank assistance for Nasus, but may just be a little bit too greedy. Single track Requiem. Stacks applied with the flash in. McLean pulling the damage. May just get turned on the turret.
Mordekai's on
Frosty
his way.
boy. McLean now dead. So a bit of a 1-for-2 trade. May just be the 2-2. See what Mordekaiser can do.
Should recall here. Should be back in. Should be away in time. Beefmaster is just gonna leave it. Okay,
So the Eclipse, lots of damage lands. The put against the turret. Modern Goblin, exhaust applied though. Oh. That looks awesome.
I did not know that was a thing.
Prowler, I did not either. Beefmaster picking up the 1v1. Is that a thing? If you kill Karthus during your ultimate as Mordekaiser, he doesn't leave the Shadow Realm until it expires because of the passive? That would just happen there?
Seems like it.
Interesting.
That's actually, if it only affects him inside the Shadow Realm, it's actually a good counter to Karthus. Because that means you can't do the thing with Karthus where you die and then ultimate afterwards. Like when you're dead, because when people affect people outside of the Shadow Realm. So that's actually really good.
Something I figured or found in Silicon the day was if Mordekaiser ultis Janna, if you are in the Shadow Realm and you cast a Q in the Shadow Realm, then it expires. The Q doesn't come through to the main game. It stays in the Shadow.
Yeah, so that's really good interaction. Actually, it's a good counter there for Karthus in the mid lane. Other than that, we can actually see that, by the way, Leona did get her skin alteration there. She is glowing now. But he also,
I mean, effectively how it's coded is that there's two games on top of each other kind of thing. So they're completely separate from each other.
If you guys also missed it, Kane did a really nice pull under the jungle where he basically did Gromp and Blue at the same time. So obviously, actually fairly proficient at jungling with Kane.
Flying Pig. Current 2-4 guys, if you missed the first game, GHS taking that one quite convincingly. So if Redside does win this game as well, it will be the series done and dusted. Oh. Modern V8 Borky getting the connection. Depth charge. Flying Pig, though talking to be done. Beefmaster picking the first kill on Dover. Frosty Boy. Beefmaster's Prowler finishing off Ramus. Shot down coming through onto Kane. Back though. The flash in the 1v1. Requiem. Nicely done. Vayne picking herself up that double, so now 3 for 0. That's pretty massive actually. As long as we missed it, but topside McLean managing to get that next kill, so he's going to be 3 for 1 for 2 with Spear Shudder completed. A bit of a power spike coming through, the Nasus not respecting that.
Yeah, that's a pretty big fight overall. I mean, Karthus also, when he just died, he got himself Archangel Staff. So that's going to be actually, I don't think he bought a tier before that very often. So he only has 72 stacks on that Archangel Staff. So it's going to take a while for them to actually build that up. But other than that, actually Vayne 3-0 now. It's going to be pretty big for a Vayne getting into the late game.
He was not able to finish off with Infinity yet, which is a bit of a sucky one.
I mean, that's definitely going to suck because I think on her back, quickly check here, she has 1,400 gold. So I do believe that should be a full item done for Blade of the Ruined King and maybe even some extra item going into a Rage Blade possibly.
Yeah, quite easily. 800 also in the pocket. Seems like PopCap's gone for that native features market again. Maybe just a preference.
He likes to create the good old debt.
That's it. Flying Pig, 2 for 1 over 5. Kane at jungle. Next objective on the map most likely would be that Rough Herald. See if anybody makes the move for it.
Yeah, that would be Blade of the Ruined King plus Berserker's Grief. So that's pretty good for Vayne.
Yeah, that's a massive power spike. Gotta be careful with the bot lane fight. Yet again, Modern Goblin pulling ahead in the CS department, despite having the range disadvantage. Flying Pig, McLean. No vision around topside for the Kane gang. That vision in lane not gonna be able to help you against something like the Flying Pig. But Prowler picked up that kill nicely left, so Karthus getting a kill handed straight to him. Plus a Dark Harvest stack means that he will be scaling towards that late game win condition. I honestly feel like Blue Side get completely unscaled this game.
And also the Kane did, as a matter of fact, like I mentioned before, in Champ Select, go the red game. Meanwhile, Radness.
Oh, Beefmaster. You don't want to dive in Mordekaiser, that's for sure. But the Karthus plus the Vayne scale is definitely something to be worried about if you are on the side of JHS.
At the moment, Nasus also only going back to top lane now. McLean is getting just pretty much free farm for himself. is an Ocean Drake up, so they could maybe look at rotating to that. We also see a ping coming through onto Rifted, so maybe might be looking at doing multiple objectives at the same time, so the enemy team can't actually really contest
Kind of
both.
risky. I don't know if I agree with that. I think potentially give up the Ocean if you go for Rift. Or do the best you can to try and avoid or prevent them from getting onto it, but it looks like Prowler's going to be paying the price for that split on objectives. After the shutdown. Goes on to the Mordekaiser yet again. 5 for 1 for 0.
I mean, I think it wasn't really a problem with splitting the objectives. I mean, if they were going to do that, I think Paolo was just pretty much overextended in the mid lane.
Yeah, but the thing is though, it's normally like, for example, if you guys pick a play top, you respect the other side of the map, you play safe there until that play's done. Because the other team is going to see that you're split onto the top side, so they can quite freely dive another lane. So it's sort of like, you always go for one objective at a time and then rotate afterwards kind of thing. Yeah, you don't want to force objectives across the map. Clean. Frosty Boy, torn connection. Rough shoulder used, charged into the mid tier 2, almost down. Last little pin. Modern Goblin exhaust now expired, means that he can pull the trigger if he decides to do so. No flash available for the next 30 seconds. Frosty Boy, flying pig.
Waiting for the Rammus to come check his jungle. Oh, Scanner will spot him out there. They are living in the jungle at the moment. You can see vision all around the entrances in that jungle, so there will be no red side jungle for Rammus this game.
Have a good vision control, like you said. Exactly what you want to be doing, so you can freely push into that bot lane. Modern Goblin, sitting with the 450 gold bounty in his hands, he cannot afford to overextend and get caught out.
Interesting, those red buff will be spawning soon though, so that will maybe actually go over to him.
The yoink.
Caitlyn might actually go and pick up that red buff for herself at the moment. It is almost spawning.
Game kind of slowing down at this point, actually.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think most of the problem was in top lane where he was forced under that tier 1. Now that tier 1 is gone, it's not that easy to ganking anymore. And now Renekton, as you can see, will have to venture much more deeper in here to actually try and get the pressure down as he was before. A lot of on-the-way pings. Mordekaiser and Nautilus maybe we're moving up to this Renekton. That scanner is going to give them away most probably, so he's going to be just heading out.
Single track.
4 rotation bot for Renekton that's not going to be caught out. That's a lot of time invested. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, you can see that this red buff will be picked up and they're going to get some damage down maybe onto tier 2.
Quickly in fancy feed, does look like it will be a 1v1. Interesting decision to pop the ulti. That means Nasus is sort of going to stand there. And it's going to be a 1v1 into a 1v1 instead. Clean. A little bit late, but he might just win this game for the dash. Does get stacks at plus 12. Requiem able to potentially pick up pop cap as well. Single surviving with a slither of health on the top side. Nasus. Yeah, I don't know about that thought process by Beefmaster, trying to make the 2v1 into a 1v1. Goblin forces it back out as he does pull turret aggro, flying pig for the assist. Rams. Double kill. Yeah, 2 turret under siege. It's looking like the GHS side is a little bit too strong today. They've brought their A game and it's starting to show.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I said last game that I feel like if they just play their methodical way of the game, then they might just take it 2-0. Seems like we are heading indeed in that way.
Interested to see. I mean, my predictions would be the Peanut Squad making it to the finals versus potentially GHS.
I mean, from what I can see, that was the favorites to go, if you will, the WRG versus Royal matchup almost.
Yeah.
So it seems like that is what we will be getting.
Between the two sides, I'm quite interested to see who would actually take that win. Alright, do you have a preference? Not preference, but like a prediction?
I mean, it feels like Walrus has been dropping some games yesterday and have been having some shaky games where they're not completely sure.
But was
especially
that
maybe the
not
bot
because
lane.
they're not potentially playing for their full potential? Do you feel like
I mean, it could be definitely. Maybe they weren't showing their hands yet completely, or maybe holding back a
slowly
bit.
clubs.
Whether that's the case, I don't know. But obviously,
Yeah.
Grantleigh bringing everything at the moment because its game's looking pretty clean.
Oh, single track, slow that health. Requiem shouldn't be enough. That's gonna be the Nasus this time. The double actually. Thank you, next. The Nasus escaped the first time, but not this time. Bring us the power of the Carthus ultimate.
Honorable mention to Vayne. They're making sure that Beefmaster was low enough on the Mordekaiser to actually be killed by that Requiem.
Tier 3 turret now on the siege, Frosty Boy. Not much you can do here, my dude. Just look to potentially reset. As a result, rotation from top side to mid to defend. They will lose the tier 2 instead. Baron now on the table, maybe the next objective. And it's already 13k gold difference. At only 21%.
And that tower has been gotten so far at all. So it's I mean, I don't think that the towers has always been touched. I mean, mid lane has been damaged a bit. Like every lane is pretty much just minion aggro, I think, from on the towers, at most.
Drake can be the second ocean of the game. Will we get that triple ocean that we don't love? Line pick. Beefmaster with the yoink says, I'm not scared of you, friend. Takes him to the Shadow Realm once again. Flying cannot actually back out of this one, but does dodge the boink with the Umbral Trespass. They can boink connect. Ace in the hole. Blocked, but Carthus made us pay the price. He does the net into the headshot. Shutdown going through on a Rammus. That is a pretty big mistake coming through, but will it be enough to create a window of opportunity for the game to be turned back towards the side of JHS? Definitely slow it down though. One in Goblin. Inhibitor now exposed. Single track. But despite the 3-4 status, still siege continues. Popcat forced to reset. Inhibitor now down. Baron on the table. I'd like to see them just reset into that 5-man rotation towards the Baron objective. Holding before they back off.
Speaking of Mandela effect, right? Am I the only one that remembered that Riot said they were going to change Locket, and they even brought out concepts for it, where they said they were going to basically make Locket to be like it used to be, where it had an aura magic resistant armor, but instead of it being an active?
I don't know, dude. Riot says a lot of stuff. Like, remember when we used to have Beat and Hunt enchantments? They said they're gonna bring it back even better, but they never did. As well, I guess Locket was buffed this patch, but nothing like you were saying.
Yeah, as far as I know, they had a video of it and everything. It looked like it looked like the active it has now, but instead it's almost like it has an aura as well. So the magic resistant armor aura it used to have.
I kind of like Lockets. Modern Gun was very nice position. We're clean picking up the one kill. That's gonna be Nasus dead as well as Nautilus. Big fight breaking out. Looks like blue side might just take this win as they do the Beefmaster actually Carthus. Nope, never mind. Leona, lone survivor. I am legend, if you will.
And again, this game, Beefmaster coming up big with his Mordekaiser. He's one of the only people keeping the foot in the door here for Jeppe High School to actually maybe try and bring this game back. Really well done there from getting the triple kill on the Mordekaiser. I think they should really watch out what they do with them. And I mean, even with the Carthus, taking him out of these fights means a lot. The area damage of his E won't do anything. If he ults, it won't do anything. So they really need to watch out where they try and pick fights with him. You can already see 2 Thornmails as well being picked up from the enemy team. I don't know how much it's going to help. I mean, Kane is going the Shred from Black Cleaver, and Vayne has true damage on the W. So I don't know how much the armor is going to help against this team. Maybe it is definitely going to help against the Renekton, definitely.
It did get a fair amount of gold, because that was the first death of Vayne actually, so the shutdown going over to you. Let me check the chat line.
I think it's very important that they have the Vayne in this comp. If this game stalled out for too long and they had any other AD I think these Storm Whales would have countered them pretty hard. But I think the fact that they have the Vayne with the Rage Blade specifically, she didn't go crit build, should work out quite well for them as long as she can be safe in these fights. Leona maybe look to definitely peel for her. It should all be good. They shouldn't have any problems, even though they have this many tanks in their team. They can...
Yeah, that's how the gold bounty went on to the Rammus, which is now dead actually. But once again, the Mordekaiser forcing McLean to fight. There's no backing out of this one. Mr. Croc takes some time quite easily. Beefmaster's still alive, and the fight continues to be Learner. One more trespass invested. Flying Pig finishing off Beastmaster as the Dredgeline knockup comes through onto a Modern Goblin. Doesn't seem like he minds though, as he's still alive in the 1v3 situation. Support now down. Double kill as well as Modern Goblin picking up the last one. Most likely could be the finish actually of this push. 15 seconds left on the Frosty Boy respawn.
Caitlyn is still up there, so she can try her best here to defend. They might force the Leona definitely has the ability to take her out of the fight if she does try to defend. So I don't know, it might actually be the finish, as you say. Ouch. Rammus.
Turret not down. Oh, ace in the hole. Blocked by Flying Pig. Very low the heal pop for the movement speed. Plus the net, but unfortunately not going to be able to get there. No flash available just out of range, but Nasus has other plans. Single track. Rejected. QSS popped. Flying Pig though. Right, so Drake at number 3 gonna be on the map in just a second, as well as Baron still available.
Oh, that's a Talter. Tweeping in to try and kill the Vayne, getting condemned away, and then the Vayne pops the QSS, and then not getting the Kane as well. Well, that's unfortunate. TP wasted essentially.
Yeah. Sort of goes down to the fact that the macro sort of gets better with time, especially newer teams struggle to close out the game. In the situation, you're so far ahead, your team fights are going 50-50, and that cannot be the case. Just play the map correctly and get the advantage with the gold that you guys have accumulated. Flying Pig. Backing out will be the Infernal Drake next. Baron. Infernal. Double trespass. Rammus not dead.
all 3 members going off Baron.
The Flash Shadow Realm cast. Popcorn actually not available in the Shadow Realm, it seems. So maybe a visual break. Finds him around the corner. Surprise, friend. Popcap trying to finish with the Infernal, but maybe not topside. The siege continuing. Baron in hand. They're going to be forced to back out here. Will Caitlyn look for the Infernal? She does. Finishes it.
I mean, Kane walking around the corner, standing there, maybe going, hee XD friend, you can't see me, I'm hiding. But Mordekaiser saying, no, my friend, I see all here in the Shadow Realm.
This is my domain. And him to expose a little bit away, but not going to be able to take it, unfortunately. Up to back off and regroup with the Baron in hand. Now, I'd like to see a bit of a split, perhaps. Otherwise, a 4-man, 5-man stack bot lane. They have Baron on multiple members. Still top wave, unfortunately, not going to be mega enhanced. But mid-wave still crashing in.
I must say, Jeppe is putting up a big fight here. I mean, it looked like it was going to be very one-sided and an easy game for Grantleigh, but at the moment, it just feels like they are actually putting up a good fight. And only 1 inhibitor down, they can definitely still defend this base and maybe try and stall out, see what the Mordekaiser can bring with this build.
Yeah, it's going to be another Infernal next to the map in the next 4 minutes or so. Expectations, you feel like the game's going to last long enough for there to beat an Infernal?
Could be at the moment. If they keep on stalling it as well as they've been doing so far, the game is probably still going to go over to Grantleigh, but I mean, it's definitely a much closer game than I anticipated.
Flying Pig. Just deny vision. Look for a pick. Wait in the shadows. Play the map and map the plays. Slow and steady gets to the base and wins the race. Baron just being applied by McLean as the inhibitor is trying to way steps up. Frosty Boy though. That should have been definitely a pick in the top side. I feel like Frosty could have gone unto-renacted. Bot side trap placements. Oh, Dover, you cannot afford to do that, my dude. Intentions were good, but the execution kind of yikes. The yoink solo clips and all sort of flare not going to connect. Unfortunately, Dover though finding V8 Porky. Putting against the wall is cheeky. That's going to be the first one now dead. Gonna going to be Porky plus the support. Both supports are down. Flying Pig is stuck pretty much between the two players. But it looks like the Nexus may just be exposed. Actually, Single Track winning that 1v1 versus the Renekton and the turret. And Mordekaiser shutting down the Vayne means that they've got one last chance in this game, actually. But Nexus now exposed. One inhibitor left on the map. Requiem, Frosty.
Actually gonna get it. Nice. Okay, well I guess that's 3 for 3 then. They are going to defend one more time, I guess.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to come back from 3 inhibits down. They do have 1 inhib left, to be fair. But I personally feel like this is just delaying the inevitable. But we've seen upsets like this before in the past. So perhaps Beefmaster having a little bit up his sleeve. We'll have to see what happens. Clawing that last hope to try and make it through to the finals.
I mean, nobody is really building magic resist, and you can see there. I mean, the Rammus was does have the adaptive helm, but even then, Karthus ultimate still enough to take him. Karthus is becoming obviously stronger and stronger. Has 3 penetration, actually 4 penetration items at the moment. So I think pretty much all of the penetration items that can is the Indian's inventory, and they're going to struggle building magic against that.
Caitlyn sitting on 2.5 items versus the 3.5, almost 4 from Vayne means that that scale has already been sort of negated in terms of Caitlyn's mid game. I feel like Vayne already ahead.
Phantom Lance obviously going to help keep alive as well with the passive. BF Sword as well. Vayne looking pretty spicy at the moment.
Blue side, sorry, the blue buff now being picked up. McLean is doing some juggling in the enemy side of the map.
Seems like
Beefmaster overextending, does manage to take the advantage of the Shadow for half a second before the QSS playing through. That's one target you cannot ulti. That most likely will be the game right there as the pick has come through. That's 2 members dead already. And Montgomery do the best he can to try to keep that distance. Pop cap, Eddie carry should be playing around the Caitlyn traps, opts not to there. Flying Pig, Requiem. And that right there will be the game and the series. No way you can defend as a half-off Frosty Boy. GG, well played series going over to the side of GHS.
Yeah, Grantleigh playing the series up pretty well. I mean, all round objective control, pick and ban phase. I just feel like Grantleigh has been playing an overall fairly solid game. And I'm looking forward to see what they're going to bring later in the day when they face most probably the winner, which I don't know. The favorite is obviously supposed to be Paul Roos, but we'll see if there's any upsets. Well, it's let you guys know what the results was of the other games once we do know ourselves.
Yeah, 100%. Quickly just checking out the damage charts. Mordekaiser yet again the most damage on his team. But Karthus doing the work this game as Requiem is coming in clutch, picking up multiple Dark Harvest stacks as well as honorable mention to the top lane set, working out quite nicely, setting Nasus pretty far behind. But despite that, Nasus actually doing the most damage in the top lane in comparison to Renekton. So McLean, not quite as McLean as he should have been, perhaps with that lead. But nonetheless, they did manage to pull the victory as well as the series, so GG, well played. Sinister, anything you'd like to say before we round out for the first series?
I am very amped to see what's going to happen, because I do believe, if I remember correctly, there should be the team that goes through to the finals, I think. So, yeah, I mean, sure. This is very exciting. I really like to see who's going to face Grantleigh and what they're going to do against this team. I mean, they can definitely not let them have their comfort picks like this game.
Yeah, okay. Guys, other than that, I believe we'll be back at 5 o'clock with the stream, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me quickly check the schedule. 1 second. Yeah, the next... No, actually... Oh, no, not 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock is the end of everything. The next stream will actually be 1:30. 1:30,
perfect. So hour and a half break. Time for lunch, I guess, guys. And that's the final.